Hello, everybody. How are you all?
Hello.
Yeah, I welcome you all for this session. We'll wait for some more time because it is another 2 or 3 minutes to go. Doesn't matter. We'll wait for a few minutes and allow others to join. And after that, we will start. Okay.
Okay,
Be
sir. Thank
prepared
you.
that there can be technical glitches here and there. And that's my very favorite quotation, The beauty of technology is that sometimes it works. The person who has made that statement must have actually experienced, uh, the way how technology fails at sometimes. We are all from different parts of the world, could be, and we are connected through technology. So let us be kind to technology. Okay, in case I go offline or I get disconnected, no need for any anxiety. I'll get myself connected back and we will be online. All right. So be prepared for minor hiccups here and there. All right. We are going to have a wonderful session today. All right. This is the second session of the series. Those of you who are attending this for the first time, I will have a very quick recap of my previous session because these are all sequential sessions. And at least hereafter, I want you to follow these sessions in sequence. All right. So others are also joining. Let us wait for them for another few minutes and then we will take off. Yeah, good evening, Ashish. Good evening, Upamanyu. Good evening, everybody. Vijay and all of you. Welcome.
Sir, I had a
Welcome all of
question.
you to my session. And I am looking forward for a very interactive session. Unfortunately, you will not be able to use your mic simultaneously because while using mic, there are two disadvantages. One, you will have to wait for your turn. Second, there could be disturbances when you are talking. All right. So third, accent related issues also could be there. Right. So what we will do is we will lavishly use the chat. All right. In chat, you will all have parallel access. All right. All will have parallel access and we will make use of chat. And I keep telling you that my lecture is secondary, but your questions which you ask here are primary for me. All right. So every now and then I will stop my presentation. I will give you simple small activities or tasks to do. And as I explain here, you keep your browser open and you will work with me. And every now and then I will come back to chat and address your questions. All right. Again, my favorite quotation: an uncreative mind spot right solutions, but a creative mind spots wrong questions. So the journey of this roadmap to DBA or PhD is all about asking questions and me making my sincere efforts to answer all your questions. There is already one question here. Please let me know where will I get the recording. Yeah, all these arrangements will be done. No issues at all. You can contact our one point contact for this logistical part, Dr. Arshi. She has made arrangement for this and she will forward you my earlier one session which you have missed. Okay. Actually, I have undertaken two sessions. One was on hypothesis testing, which was the starting session which I engaged. It was shared with Dr. Arshi, who started the session. That access also she will give you. But in this series, which I'm talking about, this is my second session. Okay. The first session was the ice-breaking session, so we have not numbered it. Today onwards, we are going to number it as session 1, 2, 3 that way. The ice-breaking session, the recording of that will be given to you for those who have missed. All right. I think we have accommodated everybody. Others may also join. They can join leisurely. All right. And recording will be anyway available. All right. I will first share my screen, and I want a confirmation from you on whether you can see my screen or not. I always have a problem to start with my screen sharing. So once when it is done, once when you can see my screen, after that I will start my session. All right. So can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see.
You can see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Suppose if I go to my PowerPoint mode, are you still able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, that's wonderful. Okay.
Bluetooth mode.
One more time, you can see my screen, right?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
we can.
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay, okay. Please keep all your mics in mute because I'm using a high magnified amplifier here. So even if slight echoing is there, it will be magnified here from my end. So please keep your mic on mute and type all your questions in the chat, and I will be visiting the chat every now and then from this session. Okay. Now, for the benefit of those who have missed my previous session, I will go back to one of my slides in the previous session. So this slide is very important. In this, I had given you the journey of DBA or PhD or any research for that matter, which ends with thesis writing. All right. So first step was literature review. Second is research gap, identification of the research gap. Third one is the problem statement. Fourth is asking the right research questions. Fifth is research objective. Sixth is picking the right research methodology. Seventh, ethical clearance from the concerned. Eighth, data collection. Ninth, data analysis. 10th, drawing of inferences and discussions, implications, and so on. Then 11th, thesis writing. And then, if you are interested, publishing. We don't insist that at the end of DBA you need to. It's not mandatory for you to publish, but definitely we will encourage you to publish in case you are interested, because some of the scholars whom I have interacted, they were very keen on publishing. So if you are interested, you can publish your work in either a conference or journal. Now, what I have served you here is the journey which we are going to take. We have not even started the first step yet. We are at the beginning of our journey. First thing what we have to do by the end of this session today is we should be able to arrive at a topic for our research from the broad area that we have in our mind. All right, we have an area of our interest. Now today's session is going to be how to migrate from this area of our interest to a concrete research topic, which could even be the title of your research. Okay, so these are all sequential steps. Most of these jargons I had introduced in my previous session. Please go through that session, okay, before you come to the next session at least. And then I will be taking you, I'll be navigating you through these 12 steps which you may have to take in your doctoral journey. All right. Our president of the group and dean, Dr. Kanika was very particular that I need to expose you to this journey first, because you are all having a rich experience in your industry. You have worked with multitude problems in the industry, and you would like to bring those problems back to our academia and record it in the form of a thesis and try to provide solutions to the problems that you have observed during your working tenure, right? And so very particular that I bring you back to this journey of academics, right? So the onus is on you, because I will show you the path for this journey. I will give you the roadmap, but you have to walk through that journey. We have come across great books on roadmap to success, roadmap to excellence, so on and so forth. But the authors won't be there with us when we walk, but we should take our first step and walk through that road with the goal in our mind. All right. So this is all I had to recap immediately from my previous session, because you need to have this map in your mind as we go through the journey today onwards. So this blueprint should be indelibly etched in your mind so that you know exactly at what stage of research you are in. All right. So quickly, I'll again go back to my chat and just check whether you have any problems at this stage. Are there any quick questions which I have to take based on my previous session, the slide which I showed you? You can proceed. Yes, yes. Are these steps common for pure and applied research? That's a very good question. That's a very good question. See, if you are looking for pure research or a disruptive research, transformative research, all right, then it is actually pure research, which is invention oriented. You are an inventor. Okay, you are an inventor, right? So inventor may bypass all these sessions and all of a sudden eureka experience that person could have and bring out an artifact into existence. All right, so that is very important. So that kind of a research is called disruptive research leading towards invention. All right, but what we are talking about in our DBA or PhD is an academic research. In my previous session, I had given this example that there could be a great consultant's report or a feasibility study, but it may not fit into the academic requirement of either PhD or DBA research. All right, so academic rigor, scientific reasoning, and the right kind of research methodology should be there. Okay, that is what we are emphasizing in DBA. Why conceptual model is missing in the flow chart? It's a part of objectives. When you write the objective, it should be there as a part of accomplishing objective. Because if I keep on writing even those small components which are required, unnecessarily there will be too many steps in the roadmap. So I have eliminated it, because when you write your objective model, objectives, and pick the research methodologies, somewhere in between this, you will already have the conceptual map ready in your mind or in the printed form. Okay, as we go through the journey, you will understand it. Okay, and there's no hard and fast rule that this is the sequence and you have to follow only this sequence. No, you are, see, for example, picking the research topic itself, I am giving you today 7 steps to arrive at a topic, but you can bypass all these topics and directly write a topic. If you go to an experienced supervisor, he may have already a topic for you in your mind, in your area, which you may be interested in working also. Or when I used to guide my PhD scholars, I used to already have funded projects wherein the title is fixed, and we will be looking only for those right kind of scholars who take up those projects. Okay, so this is only to make your path of DBA easy in a sequential, structured manner. Okay, so this kind of questions are all welcome, but they are all not hard and fast rules. It is a very flexible process. All right. Okay. Is this sequential steps intuitively? I think I should be with problem statement. I may be wrong. No, you are right. You can even start with a problem statement. But do you remember in our previous class, there was one question, previous session, there was a question. What if the problem doesn't remain till I complete my PhD? You know, now to answer that, we need these sequential steps. Okay, so here we go. We will start our today's session with this brief introduction. I will start my today's session with very clear understanding of our learning outcomes at the end of this lecture series. At the end of this lecture series, the learner should know the methodological procedure for identifying a topic in the area of research, conducting literature review, identifying research gap, developing problem statement, and formulating research questions, conceptualizing a model. You see, here it comes, right? The answer to one of the questions that was asked. Conceptualizing a model, developing research objectives, identifying appropriate research methodology, collecting relevant data, analyzing the data and interpreting the results, drawing inferences and generating discussions. These discussions are mainly corroboration with earlier studies. You have to corroborate your results with earlier studies. Okay, then drawing inferences and generating, I did that. Deriving theoretical and practical implications out of your results. See, you have drawn inferences out of the analysis that you have done. Based on inferences, you have corroborated your work with earlier research. Then what is your contribution to the theory? What is your contribution to the practical world? Probably you may sometimes have only theoretical contribution, or you may have only practical implication also. So it depends, right? Then you present your conclusion. Then you list the references in the required format. And finally, you write either research papers and then also the thesis. Or mainly, you write the DBA thesis in a structured, systematic manner. And if you are enthusiastic, you can also write a research paper. So this entire sequence, the methodological procedure for this sequence should be accomplished as the learning outcome by the end of this series of lectures that we have. So we come to today's lecture, that is moving from broad area to the topic of research. All right. So here, by the end of this session, students will be able to access relevant databases for the target research area, identify and refine initial keywords and search terms, examine titles and abstracts of shortlisted papers, evaluate frameworks and theoretical models presented in the literature, analyze conflicting results and counterintuitive findings. These are very important. And then refine and finalize your research topic, which could lead directly to your research title. So by the end of this session, you should have a very clear understanding of these 6 steps. And I will give you an activity also by the end of this session. And when you participate in this activity, you should be very clear about how to arrive at a topic for your research. Now, again, I will reiterate on what I had told in my previous session. The topic of your research is only between you and your supervisor. You don't have to discuss it with anybody else, and only you two are the sole owners of that topic. You should not divulge it to anybody else, except for these external committees where you may have to present your work. Okay, that's a systematic procedure of the institute, right? So apart from that, you don't have to share this topic. And suppose if you want me to answer one of the questions that may come to your mind on your topic, you can speak something like a parallel topic to that and ask me a question, wherein you don't have to reveal your actual topic to me. All right, you can ask a parallel issue related to that. So the topic of research is a confidential issue between the supervisor and the scholar. All right, okay, we will start now moving to our next step. Now this slide I had explained in my previous session itself, right? Because you should have a clear understanding about what is an area and what is a topic. Okay, I've emphasized some areas. 9 niche areas of our institute are these on the left side, which you are seeing, and on each of these areas I have given a topic. I will not go through the details of this, as you can listen to my earlier lecture on this, but observe the keywords. You don't have to read all of these topics. In which area you belong to or you are interested in, read that area or discipline or stream. These are all the words which have been used interchangeably in literature. Okay, and then read the example research topic that I have given here, so that in your area you have a broad understanding of what is an area and what is a topic. Okay, I'm going through the basics here. I'm going through the basics. You may know most of the things which I am telling here, but even then, for the benefit of all, I'm going to the basic building blocks of research. Okay, so these are the sets of areas and these are the topics. All right, now I will take you to the 7 steps which I have framed for you to easily move from your broad area to a research topic, which could also be your research title. All right, now here, as I take you or navigate you through these topics, along with me, you should immediately open your browser and you have to do what I say. That is more important. Okay, I may not be able to narrow down to your exact area and give you example. I will give a general example which can be understood by all, but those examples which I give, you write keywords which you have in your area in your mind. All right, but the procedure which we follow will be the same. Okay, first understand, first step is to focus on your area of your interest. Focus on the area of your interest. Second, we retrieve databases like PubMed. PubMed is specifically for healthcare management. For others, it may not be of much use, but the ones which are following, Scopus, Google Scholar, and Web of Science, are in general meeting all the requirements of management, social science, educational technology, humanities, and so on. Okay, but the most popular and the easily usable and accessible one is Google Scholar. So today's lecture, I will take you through Google Scholar. Okay, then third, we decide on some random keywords which you have been hearing in your area and find papers relevant to these keywords. I will show you how to move to papers based on these keywords. And then we will read the titles and abstracts only. And let us try to identify through a series of papers. When we go, we can instantly observe some recurring themes which are coming up in your area of expertise. All right. Then we will see what are the commonly used frameworks in these papers, okay, which you already now have. We have the titles and the abstracts, okay, and we already have some papers. So those papers may have some frameworks. If not, I will tell you how to pick frameworks along with these papers which you already have. All right, then let us look into conflicting results, counterintuitive findings, okay, because these are important, because that moves you towards the research gap identification. Okay, this is what we want as a start point of our research gap to be identified. All right, sixth step is 4, 5, and 6 These steps are very important. Okay, and then using all the above, check if you can come up with a topic. Then alternatively, I will also expose you to AI tools. When AI is available, and if you don't make use of it, I think we are losing something. So we will use our own ideas, our own intelligence, and also let us try to borrow intelligence from AI tools also. And then we will combine them and try to produce a quality research. Okay, so these are all the 7 steps I have had in my mind today. Okay, we will navigate one by one from this slide onwards. Okay, first step, you choose an area. Please jot down your area. I have chosen health care management so that it's a general area which you can easily understand. So you write down the area of your choice. Okay, you write it down. Hope you have written it down, either typed it on your Word file or written it down. Okay, fine. Now you have written the area. Okay, it could be generative AI, it could be financial management. Okay, it could be any area, information systems, which you are interested in, or supply chain management. Okay, you write the area of your choice. Then second step, now we will go to prominent databases, which I just mentioned. So I will escape from here and I will take you to the Google Scholar. I'll take you to the Google Scholar. So what I'll do is here, I will give you a site. Okay, you may be having that site already, but those of you who are accessing for the first time, I will give you the site. Okay, you just cut and paste from here, to the Google Scholar. Okay, I put it in the chat. You just copy this and type it, copy it and put it in your browser. All right, so you will be served with this menu. Okay, you'll be served with this menu. Are we all on the same page? Are we all on this page, Google Scholar? I hope so. Okay, we are all in the Google Scholar page now. All right, next, once when we are in this page, okay, take time, get into Google Scholar. Now once when we are in this page, we need some keywords to start with. Okay, so during your work life, with your interaction with your colleagues or your supervisor or your teachers or friends or your work associates, you would have heard the words which you would like to work on. For example, in healthcare management, you would have had a problem in your mind. So the keywords which are very close to those problems which you have had in your mind could be like healthcare operations, hospital management, digital health system, or healthcare delivery challenges. So these could be the words which you have had in your mind. All right, so pick 5 or 6 such words. Pick 5 or such words which you have in your mind, and you enter them here in Google Scholar. Do this instantly. Okay, these keywords let us start with. Don't want invited comma, so I'm getting rid of that. All right, Okay, or also is not required. So you decide which are the keywords which you want. If you want to use these keywords to start with, I will cut and paste this also for you here. You can simply copy this because you are exploring Google Scholar. So you can simply be on the same page with me. If you are not ready with the points which you should actually work on your area, you are not ready with, then you will get a number of papers. See, 148,000 papers have been shortlisted by Google Scholar in precisely 1.67 seconds. Now our challenge is to identify those papers which are relevant to our research. Now this has very much to do with the brilliant question that was asked by one of you. What is the guarantee that the problem that I start with will remain till I complete my DBA? Now that will be answered by this question, because all the latest work, no matter which university a student is working or a professor is working, their accomplished work, they are publishing it in these databases. See, Google Scholar is a database from where you can access Scopus index journals or Web of Science index journals. Web of Science, PubMed has got Medline, and Scopus, and your elsewhere has got Sage. You know, these are all indexing agencies. So if it is indexed, don't try to remember too many things. Scopus and Web of Science is enough. Okay, as long as it is indexed by Scopus and Web of Science. In most of the premier universities around the globe, they are considered to be standard indexing agencies. Because how do we define the quality of paper? Some of the papers which you read here, you may feel that they are not to the quality which you were expecting. Because why? Because it was not published in a journal with a high impact factor. It was not in the top Q1 percentile. They divide even the journals based on Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 percentiles also. All these things you can browse in Google and study how you should write in AI or Google. You search how to judge the quality of a paper, and all these points will come. Okay, I don't want to spend time on that, but I would like to draw your attention to check whether it is published in Google Scholar, in Scopus, or in Web of Science. Okay, these are two standard indexing agencies. Then you have databases, several databases which I have shown. So these are all the papers which are published in those databases. All right. Now, in healthcare management, which I was telling, I have got one paper like digital LC, one keyword which I have taken, it has taken, and the challenge of health system. See, now I got one clue, strong clue here to work with. If I'm interested in digital health and how it is supported to health system transformation, because the systemic approach has been brought in to healthcare management system, right? It could be IT system, automation system, all these technology oriented systems. So how this systemic approach is helping digital health, and how it is helping us overcome the challenges that we have had in our previous years. So if you like this paper, just by the title, you have not even opened the paper. Just by the title, if you have liked the paper, instantly what you can do is, note this step, very important it is, go to CIT site. Okay, click on site along with me. In our EU Global Institute, we go by Harvard style of formatting. Okay, most of the journals, they follow APA style of formatting, American Psychological Association. Okay, if you want to publish paper, usually it will be asked in APA. So whichever format you want, you can directly pick it directly from here. You can directly pick it from here. So I want Harvard style. So click once on it, Control C you do, copy it, and you open a Word document instantly, so that you have list of references which you have narrowed down to in selecting a topic for your research from the area. So call this as references. Okay, and this file you are going to save and copy that here, Control V here, and then click here and put it in the format of referencing like this with this indent. Okay, so the next paper which I say, I come to the next paper here, and this paper also I liked because healthcare delivery was there. That was also my keyword. I will come to Harvard. I will copy it. I'll come back to this place and copy my second paper also. Like this, you build your own database of references. Okay, so go through only the titles of the paper. Go through only the titles of the paper, and whichever paper you feel that they are of relevance to you, you can cite them in the references, which is a file which you are creating, which will be used by you to explain how you have narrowed down from that area to the topic. Okay, this is what we have done in our step which I was mentioning here. All right, I'll come back. I'll go slow so that all are in the same page. We choose an area. Then among the databases which were available, I told you two things. One is a database. Database will give you all the papers, including conferences and working papers also. But those papers should be published, should be indexed by journals, indexing bodies, journal indexing bodies. Now, these bodies are Scopus and Web of Science, and PubMed has got its own Medline, and there are others also. Okay, but these are prominent. Okay, you just ask AI whether this paper is indexed by Scopus or indexed by Web of Science, it will instantly give you the result. So you are sure that this is indexed by standard indexing bodies. All right. Then third step, associated keywords to your main area you have typed, and now you have narrowed down to some papers by title. You have liked it, so you have copied it into the reference. Now next step, we will read the titles and their abstract. Next step, we will read titles and abstract. Then here I will stop. I will visit back to your chat, and in case you have got any questions, one by one I will address them. Okay, but let us accomplish step number 4. In step number 4, what we do is we go to these papers again, and then what you do is if you click on this directly, here itself it will open. So right click and open it in the next tab, so that my Google Scholar will remain, or else all these papers which are shortlisted will go away. Okay, so you come to this paper now which you have put. See, read the abstract of this paper. Luckily you have got full paper available here. You can read the full paper to your heart's content. Okay, sometimes they will be paid and it will be not accessible to you. Leave such papers. There are many papers which are freely available for you. All right, read them. So now you read the abstract of this and see whether it makes sense. See whether this abstract addresses the problem which you had in your mind. Okay, now when you say you have a problem in your mind, in the language of researcher, you will have to identify which are the variables associated with your problem which you have in your mind. For example, if you are in operations management, your variable could be delay time. Your variable could be inventory stock. Your variable could be you are interested in studying a rate of finished goods. All right. So the variables in healthcare management, which I was talking about right now, could be service quality. You may be interested in assessing the service quality in healthcare management as perceived by the patient, or customer experience is a variable. How to test whether it's a variable? Very simple. See whether its value varies over a period of time. or over a period, because period includes time. All right. So if the value of an entity changes with the time, then it is my research variable. Now here, let me introduce you to one more term, research construct. Now research construct is an overarching word. For example, service quality is a research construct. Now this research construct may have several variables associated with that. One of them could be tangibles of service quality. Second could be intangibles of service quality. Third could be the responsiveness of service quality, like that. So these are the variables associated with that umbrella term, okay, which is all encompassing of all these variable items. Okay, that is a research construct. You are trying to relate one research construct with another research construct. All right. For example, job satisfaction is a research construct. Productivity of an employee is another research construct. I may be interested in studying whether job satisfaction leads to productivity of the employee. Now my research construct, job satisfaction, had 4 or 5 variables through which I measure that. Similarly, productivity of an employee, again I may have 4 or 5 variables which I am using to measure that. Now these concepts should be clear in your mind when you read an abstract. So when you read an abstract, you try to identify what are the variables he is dealing with. Write down all this list of variables. So by the end of say 10, 20, 30, 40 papers you have gone through, you are very clear about, in healthcare management, what are the general variables researchers are dealing with. That you are very clear about. So now if you like this abstract, you feel that abstract is required, immediately cut and paste or save the entire paper in a folder. So immediately open a new folder. In that folder, for one research construct, all the associated papers you put in that folder. For another research construct which you are trying to relate, you put another set of papers in that, so that when you are looking for a particular research construct, you have all the papers related to that in that folder. This is also very important. So as you are reading an abstract of a paper, you should do these things parallelly. Okay, so we have accomplished quickly. I have taken you through these steps, 4 steps, and I have written here. I should give a pause here and address your questions in case you are stuck somewhere. Let me try to help you out on this. Okay, I'll come to the chat room now. If you're stuck anywhere, please tell me. Look, let us not introduce too many things in app. Okay, there is Zotero, there is Mendeley, there are, you name, and there is an app for that. Okay, let us not try to bring too many apps in our research work. Okay, let us focus only on simple ones which are direct and easy to work. So with minimum Google Scholar and its citation, we can generate our references and we can narrow down to our topic. This is what the primary focus here is. Okay, please make use abundantly. I can also take you to an AI instantly, or elicit, for example, if you want elicit, because if I keep on introducing terms like this, newer terms, you will be completely lost. So I don't want that to happen. Elicit is one of the best AI which I have come across. Elicit AI. Okay, this elicit AI, if you have got any confusion about the paper, which paper to take, which paper not to take, okay, you will have to sign up. It is actually again a proprietary software. Okay, I'm not advertising for this. Okay, but I liked using this. So you can go to elicit and it will instantly give you 4 papers very close to what you are looking for, rather than searching for all these questions. Healthcare management, and in that, information systems. Information systems. Okay, in healthcare management, I want information system. I want instantly a search on that. Okay, see, top 4 papers, instantly it has given me. I can talk hours together on this kind of apps that we have to support our research. See, first, information systems and quality management in healthcare organization, and empirical study. This should give you some idea about how to write a topic for your research if information system and quality management is your area. Now, you cannot repeat the same work which has been done by somebody. How to differ from that study, that also I will tell you. Okay, you can always find a newer variable and refine a study. You can change the context of that study and again start a new research there. Okay, all these techniques. So as we move forward one by one, let us try to explore them. Okay, so there are quite a good number of apps. There are quite a good number. They are filled with, every day new apps are coming. My students keep coming to me and telling, sir, have you seen this app? Sir, a new app has come. What you are taught is now outdated. A faster app has come, and they teach me the newer apps, and I learn from them and use it. Okay, but now the whole focus of this lecture is to navigate you through the topics to get into the main task to be accomplished in this particular lecture. So nice that you are pointing out that there is Zotero, there is Mendeley, you can use in Word Zotero, so many things you can do. Okay, now can we get a copy of a previous report for reference purposes? Yes, definitely you can download. It is available. Open sources are there where you will get. How about copying the HTTP link of reference sources beside this is called DOI. There is DOI which is given. You take the title of it and just put DOI, a digital identifier. It will provide you. You have to put DOI. Particularly when you publish in some of the journals, they will ask you the references with the DOI also. Okay, it's a good habit for you to put the DOI also there itself. All right.
No, okay. I'm audible to you, sir.
So, unable to open papers. Harshala. Unable to open the papers, is it? Please try it again. There is a background noise. Somebody says, please keep your mic mute, everybody. Okay, I think all of you have done what I have told. Harshala, you are unable to. Are you able to open the papers now, Harshala? Is there any problem? Yeah, correct. Good point. Raise your hand and you can. Instead be easy shortcut. You just type in your question here. Yeah, you're right. You have got these papers. Some papers they ask for access, okay, because they are paid. So ignore them. Go to the next paper. When you have 140,000 papers listed, you don't have to worry about such terms. So leave it. No issue. Okay. No issue. You can leave it. All right. So we have accomplished this task. Okay, we'll go to the next step now.
Can I ask one question? Am I audible to you?
This is what I want you to do now. Those abstracts which you have read, in that you see whether there are some recurring themes. Why these recurring themes are important is, now these are the burning issues in that research area, because repeatedly researchers are working on it. For example, generative AI, confidentiality issue, privacy issue. This is a recurring theme because people are concerned if you bring technologies to your workplace, how good it is in addressing this issue. Blockchain technology, how effective it has been in addressing such issues. These are all recurring themes. So if you get a recurring theme, then it is a highly publishable area. Okay, for example, see here, digital transformation in healthcare management. I'm focusing only on healthcare management in this. In the subsequent lectures, I will take other topics. I may take financial management, or I may take tourism, hospitality, so that everybody has something to take away with their topic, because I can't focus on all the topics in one lecture. All right, so kindly bear with me, but have a broad understanding of other research also. Don't try to simply operate in silos. Don't try to operate in silos. Instead, broaden your vision and try to know what your counterparts are doing in their research also. Probably one methodology which they are using, one method they are using, or a tool that they are using could be useful for you also. All right, so keep your eyes open and openly interact by attending seminars, lectures. You have to emancipate your knowledge in that direction also. So recurring themes you observe if you read or abstract, or this part I want you to do it. Digital transformation, patient-centered care. How far technologies have been successful in providing patient-centered care? The human element is unavoidable in healthcare management, in terms of, particularly when you are dealing with, say, a patient with paralysis. We have designed automated system in our mechanical engineering lab to support a person with paralytic problem, but human intervention cannot be avoided completely. So how far technology has been successful in providing patient-centered care? Health workforce shortages. This is also an issue in healthcare management. We have witnessed it particularly at the time of COVID. Okay, and the second line and third line healthcare professionals were prepared and kept ready. You know that, right? Cost efficiency models. Initial cost incurred for system-based approach for healthcare management is very high. You see, that is also an issue. So these are recurring themes. So identify the recurring themes. Then your research has to be grounded well on a theory. See, ultimately what we are doing through our research, we are observing a practical problem. We are bringing that practical problem from the industry to academia, and we are building a theory so that this practical problem can be resolved through this model. Suppose I am not satisfied with the customer satisfaction we provide to our customers in a retail industry, in a retail organization, say, okay, retail store. I am not able to satisfy my customer. Then I will come to academia, study all the customer satisfaction models. For example, in healthcare management, we have got DONA, Bidian model, we have got lean healthcare model, we have got serve-call model, serve-perf model. So many models are available to enhance the satisfaction issues and customer delight issues, cutting cost involved in total patient treatment. So there are various models addressing specific issues related to healthcare management. So for the problem that you have in your mind, which is the framework which is applicable? Which is the model? You may ask me what's the difference between a framework and a theoretical model. Framework is a skeleton of a model. A framework is a boundary, or it shows what all variables are included in this particular system and what are not included. It sets a kind of a boundary for your operations. Okay, and it has not matured itself to be called a model. Model is something which is developed from the framework. Real life data has been collected and the data has been analyzed. Probably modeling and simulation is done, or statistical analysis has been done, and this real life data has been tested practically through scientific method. Reliability, validity has been tested, validated, and then it upgrades itself to be a model. After that, it becomes a model. It can be a management model. It could be a mathematical model, and so on. Okay, so over a period of time, after undergoing a longitudinal research, now I'll introduce you to two more terms here. One is cross-sectional design for research. Other one is longitudinal design. Now, cross-sectional design is one-time study. It's called one-shot study. So you want to study, there was some problem in an industry. You go there and immediately collect some data and you provide a solution to that problem. Then that became a cross-sectional study, because at that point in time, the data that you collected was during that particular period, and as a case study, you resolved that problem. But tomorrow, day after, or over a period of time, that problem may have several other variables introduced to that because of the rapid strides and growth in technology. Newer variables may come. Okay, for example, learning management system. Okay, problems of yesteryears and problems of today are completely different. So newer variables have come. So one shot problem solution or cross-sectional design will be a case study applicable for that point in time. Whereas over a period of time, again and again, it has been refined, and over a period of time, if you have found that that is a solution, then that becomes a longitudinal study. Okay, for example, very well accepted vaccines, they have been over a period of time. Whereas the vaccines which were introduced at the time of COVID there, like Covishield or Covaxin, they were all one-shot study during that period only. So they were the result of cross-sectional study. So the research which you are undertaking, are you planning to add to the longitudinal study, or is it a cross-sectional study that you want to do? Even that you have to narrow down at the time of the selection of the model itself. Okay, then the third point which I am mentioning here is conflicting results, counterintuitive findings. These are the things which you have to look. So in one paper, let me simplify it. In one paper, the authors may say that monetary gains will enhance job satisfaction of an employee. In another paper, the authors may counter that argument and say that monetary gains will provide job satisfaction only up to a certain level. Beyond that, it will not provide job satisfaction for an employee. Or they may say that there are demographic influences on the relationship between monetary gains and job satisfaction. You see? Are you getting my point? So one paper says A and B are related to each other, or A is influencing B, or A is associated with B, or A has got an impact on B. All these terms in your statistical analysis, you will learn it in detail later. Okay. So whether it's an impact, whether it's an influence, whether it's an association, one paper claims that, and another paper says in our research, we have not found that. Why? Because probably the context was different. The demographic of a chosen sample was there. There could be several reasons. It is time variant problem could be. All right. So this kind of results when you have got, then it is a potential area for you to build your hypothesis, telling that the relationship between A and B, there are varying arguments and results in the literature which is available. So a longitudinal study is required here, and hence this topic has been chosen. A strong point for you to say that you need to do more research. Like that, you should find a reason for having chosen that topic based on the conflicting results. If at all you have found, there may be no conflicting results also. Then you have to add a newer variable. Those variables might not have been studied by earlier researchers. Okay, these are some of the points which you have to think about. All right, these ideas you get generated in your mind only when you read papers. There is no substitute in research for reading papers. No amount of lectures, no amount of mastery or research methodology will help you unless and until you be a voracious reader of papers. At least some 30 to 40 research papers to start with. You don't have to understand the mathematics part of it. You don't have to understand the research methodology part of it. All that you have to know is what was the objective of this research, what was the problem that was picked, what were the research questions, and how these research questions have been addressed by the researcher by the end of that paper. This much if you understand to start with at this stage of your research, it is more than enough, and it should narrow down you to a topic. So after going these 7 steps, you will have to arrive at a topic. That's my point. All right. Now, I will again go back to chat. I'm going to tell you now an alternative approach for all these steps. Okay, I'll teach you the alternative route through AI also. Okay. Now let me see whether there are some questions and take them. We are clear on referencing. Thank you. Can you please provide guidance on total number of papers typically included? Okay. Overall structure and content of a full thesis. Okay. Second one is you are over ambitious at this stage, Mr. Vishnu. I'm very happy that you are interested in studying overall structure of the thesis itself. When you start with overall structure of the thesis is there in my path itself, which I showed you in my previous lecture session. You know, that itself is the overall structure of the thesis. Okay, you start with literature review. Before that, you give an introduction, and then I understand you. That's a good question. I'm answering that, Vishnu. That's a good question. Okay, I will give the overall structure here itself. All right, but I'll go to the details of that when I reach there. Let's cross the bridge when we reach there. But here I will give you some idea because you asked this question. First chapter is going to be introduction. Then you are going to have the literature review. Third one, you are going to discuss the research methodology that you are adopting. And then you are going to go for data collection and analysis, and then results and analysis, then your discussions, implications, and then conclusion. This is a broad structure of any thesis, a very broad structure. Introduction, literature review, methodology, then data analysis, results, discussions. I'm on the way. Okay, discussions. I'll type here. Okay, I'll type here. Okay, this is a broad structure. Okay, very broad structure. Introduction. Okay, and then literature review. Okay, and then should follow with the research methodology. Okay, and then after research methodology, we have got data collection, and analysis, right? And then we have results, findings, discussions. Okay, it could include implications of your research. Under implications, you can have theoretical and practical also. And then you go for conclusion. This is a broad outline of the thesis. Okay, and again, it can vary from quantitative to qualitative, but broad. All right. Okay, please let me know how much more time for the lecture to wind up to 10 o'clock. We are going to wind up. This is a 1.5 hour lecture. At 10 o'clock, we are going to wind up. All right, Harshala. Okay, at sharp 10 o'clock, we are going to wind up. Okay. Are there any specific guidelines on the 1 minute, jumping? Is there any specific theory that for some cases a cross-sectional research is applicable and for some cases longitudinal research is applicable? This depends upon your area, Anish. You have to browse through at least 50 to 100 papers and then see in the cross-sectional studies what were the theories used, And on the longitudinal studies, what were the theories used? But when a theory is proposed, it is a general theory. It is based on the longitudinal research only. There cannot be a theory for a short term. The theory is always, for example, force is equal to mass into acceleration. Okay, F is equal to ma. This is over a longitudinal design experimentation has been done, and a mathematical model in the form of this theory has been given, or a 7 P's, 8 P's, 9 P's in management that you study. Okay, or social cognitive theory. It's a longitudinal theory. Or theory of planned behavior. It's a longitudinal theory. Theory of reasoned action. Okay, technology acceptance model. Technology acceptance model has been modified several times. Okay, and all the versions of it are still being used. Okay, there are still being used. Okay, I think there is a defined structure of the paper according to Euroglobal. Yes, there are various structures which are available, and it varies from journal also. The structure of the paper varies from journal to journal also. They don't ask for methodology in some journals. They ask for methods and materials. Okay, instead of methodology. That's why I've been repeatedly telling you there is no hard and fast rule on anything, but you cannot completely digress from this flow. There should be literature review, there must be a problem identification, there must be research questions, there must be your research objectives, there must be a fixed research methodology, there must be a systematic way of collecting data. It could be qualitative or quantitative. There, for quantitative data that you have collected, there is a specific analysis. All right, so all these structures will not vary, but by and large, depending upon the context, you may slightly change here and there. That is right. I fully agree with you. Is there any specific theory that for some cases cross-sectional is applicable? And I think I answered this question. Okay. Are there any specific guidelines on the minimum number of pages or words required for a thesis? Dr. Nash's thesis was only 20 pages, maybe, Nobel laureate. You find out how many pages. It was a few number was something like 20 to 30 could be. Okay, there is no hard and fast rule for number of pages, but we limit the total number of pages like 60,000. It is a, please read the rules and regulation book which we have given in EU Global. All these answers have been addressed there, and you have to stick on to that. Okay, number of words in a master's thesis, number of words in a DBA thesis, they have been specified in our rules and regulations. So please stick on to those numbers. Okay, but by and large, you can slightly less or more here and there, wouldn't matter. Okay, it depends upon the committee, right? But when a rule has been set, it is better for us to always stick on to the total number. If it's written 60,000, let us stick on to 60,000. Okay, please verify it in the EU Global rules and regulations. Okay, this is I have answered. Come again. Yeah, I repeated. Thank you for asking. And your first question was total number. Second question was about thesis. Vishnu, first question was about total number of papers typically included. Yes, this is a good question. Students often ask me, scholars, they often ask me, how many papers should I have in my, say, proposal writing stage? Or how many papers should I narrow down to when I am just selecting my topic of research? Again, if you ask me for a rough number, I would prefer at least around 30 to 50 papers when you narrow down to your topic. Because, why I'm telling you why? Because nobody can dispense with you once when you have 30 to 50 papers, very clearly showing a broad research gap. Now you have actually not identified the true research gap. You have only gone by recurring themes. You have only gone by the common frameworks which have been used. All right. and you've only gone by the keywords which are related to each other as per your practical observation in the industry. All right, so you are supporting this understanding of your problem with 30 to 50 papers wherein they have repeatedly worked on this area, because this is a burning topic. This is a burning topic. You justify that there is a need to fill the gap in this particular area. That's why I've chosen this area. You will be able to justify point number one. It is a burning area in that area, burning topic in that area. Second one is this research gap will remain at least for next 2 to 3 years, because several people, and you have the year of your references. This is the contemporary research problem. See, I have answered your question which was asked in the first session. You are sure that when you are narrowed down to these papers and you have arrived at your topic, you can justify that this problem is going to remain for next 2 to 3 years, because people are still working on it. People are still working on it. Okay, so both the questions I have answered, Vishnu. If you still have doubts or clarification required, okay. Does Indian perspective provide variety to the proposed paper? Yes, it could be. If you are focusing that most of the work which has been undertaken on this research and the theories that have been developed on this particular topic have got Western influence, and they are based on the data collected as well as analysis on the Western culture being studied, or Western context being studied, or Western context of mHealth app usage being studied. mHealth app for disease management. Okay, lifestyle based disease management, for example, people widely use mHealth apps. Okay, but these apps have been studied only in Western context, but not in Indian context. And when I study it in Indian context, I may find that there are counterintuitive findings. The results may completely vary, and there is no research which has provided adequate answers. Even those research studies which have been addressed, they go on they don't agree with each other. There are disagreements in hypothesis testing. So an Indian perspective in the title could be a good topic also, if you feel and if you can justify well that it would be differing from the other perspectives. Okay, that part is your role. Is there any specific theory for some cases like cross-sectional research is applicable? I answered this. Okay, but when you call something as a theory, when you call something as a theory, it is longitudinal. Okay, it is based on longitudinal research. Okay, you can download. Okay, that is something I have got nothing to do with that. Okay. Copy of research proposals, I told you, Vishnu, it is a confidential topic because it could be patentable idea. See, other day I was discussing with one of my research scholars. She is on a startup, and a problem which she has brought to me is a highly patentable idea. So if it is a patentable idea, even at a doctoral study, we say that you don't have to publish that, because patentable idea, if you publish it in paper before your patent is granted, it has gone to the public. So you don't have to publish such patentable ideas. So again, as I have told several times, the topic is a confidential matter between the supervisor and the scholar. Okay, so it will usually not be revealed for others, but you can refer. There are internet has got a wide source of research proposals, even thesis you get. You can go to areas like, if you are having an Indian background, Shodha Ganga is a place where the universities have to compulsorily upload their thesis there. Shodha Ganga. Okay, you can, if you have an Indian context you are speaking about, then you can look into such paper. So look into, and even some premier universities, if you look into, they have made available the thesis published in those universities. So you can have a good reference thesis as your guideline for your work, Vishnu. Okay, but the work which is being done, the contemporary research or in our institute which is in progress now, it is questionable. Okay, it is between the supervisors, so it may not be revealed. How about copying HTTP link of reference source? I told you this. Okay. Right. I think till now I have answered all the question, and let me revisit, because I'm telling you again and again, these questions are very, very important, and you don't go out from my session with questions. Let us tackle all these questions one by one. Okay, that was only to see perspective. Okay, selecting a unique topic is crucial. For instance, in the energy sector, yes, a topic like a rooftop solar has numerous ongoing discussion. Yes, rooftop solar, they discuss about the initial cost. Okay, they discuss about the effectiveness of it. There are, and so many issues, parallel issues are also being discussed on that. So you have to pick to create a unique value proposition. Okay, your suggestion, please. Yeah, I can give you so many suggestions for, you can work on the cost aspects of it, you can work on the technology aspects of it, and you can, if you want to give a managerial perspective for it, you can study the models which are available, like technology acceptance model, and study the diffusion of solar technology in the market today. Okay, diffusion of solar innovation in the market, that also could be a topic. Okay, so you better narrow down to the topic through the 7 steps which I took you. All right. Any other question? No other question. Okay, now let us look into the alternative scheme. Could there be a scope for a comparative study between Indian perspective? Yes, comparative analysis can be done. That's a good question. You can take up any problem and go for comparative analysis. Okay, now I'll give you an alternative approach. Okay, Einstein himself said that I not only have my brains, but I also have brains that I can borrow from. So today you not only have your brains, but you also have artificial intelligence. So let us now try to explore artificial intelligence and see how it can help you in narrowing down to a topic. All right, so the same example which I took before, I will take. Okay, ask a question. I'll cut and paste this question to you. Okay, you cut and paste this question with your keywords into the AI tool which you want to use. See, I have narrowed down in my healthcare based example which I took you some recurring themes as digital transformation, patient-centered care. These were my recurring issues. Then the frameworks like Donabedian model I took, and then lean healthcare model I took, ServQual, ServPerf I observed. Okay, so these are the things. So I will ask now AI tool to provide me 6 topics which will cover research on these specific areas which I have mentioned, specific keywords which I have mentioned here, and let us see what AI answers me. Okay, I will not recommend any AI tool for you. See, in these lectures, no tool, no specific software is going to be recommended. It is your free choice. Competency, knowledge, skill. For the development of skill, you have a free choice to choose the software of your use. So you can use any AI tool which you like. Okay, and I told you they are proprietary tools, so you have your own constraints over that. So any tool you use. Okay, suppose I use this tool which is being displayed here. Okay, and I'm cutting and pasting here. Okay, I've asked this question to it. Let us see what answer it gives. Okay, see here. First title it has given me is evaluating the impact of digital transformation on hospital management using Donabedian model. What's the focus here? How digital health systems are reshaping hospital operations and management structures. So he is focusing on the research construct of digital health system and hospital operations and management structures. Okay, the recurring theme he has identified through the abstract is digital transformation. Okay, framework being used is Donabedian model. Second example which is giving is patient-centered care in healthcare operations, a service quality analysis of service quality, ServQual analysis of service quality. ServQual, let me explain this. ServQual is a model. Okay, ServQual is a model that is being used for measurement of service quality. With the help of ServQual model, he is analyzing service quality in terms of patient-centered care in healthcare operations. Okay, so the focus is how hospital operations can be optimized for patient-centered care. Recurring theme is patient-centered care here. The framework he has used is ServQual model. Are you getting my point? Excuse me. Yeah. Then addressing health workforce shortages in digital health system, ServPerf. See, an alternative competitive model for ServQual is there. Okay, one is service based, other one is perception based, one is measuring by P minus E, that is perception minus expectation. Other one says that no, directly perceptions you have to measure because perception includes its quality in it. So these are all the arguments. So these are contemporary models, okay, who are competing with each other. Okay, in fact, I still remember in my MBA studies, I had done a research on, it was MBA based research, whether ServQual and ServPerf, they significantly differ from each other in measuring the level of service quality. And it is published in Emerald Insight Journal. The MBA work which I had done is published in Emerald Insight, is available. You type my name and service quality and ServQual model, you will get that paper. Comparative study between these two was done. Okay, because you can also do in your even at your DBA thesis, 2 or 3 contemporary models are there. You do a comparative study of these 3 models in terms of their outcome achievement. All right. So these are all the ideas which I am opening today. I'm not recommending, I'm not prescribing anything. I'm only describing things for you. Okay, it's not a prescription. It is just a description. All right. Now, addressing health workforce shortages. This is a major issue, particularly in developing economies. It is a major issue, that is a health workforce shortages at the time of pandemics, particularly. Okay. So in digital health system, he has applied ServPerf model here. See, this must ring a bell for you. He has applied ServPerf in this context. Okay, if ServQual was not applied there, you can apply and extend that study and agree or disagree with this study. He has very clearly given what was focus, what was recurring theme, what was framework. Okay, like that. I'll not go to the other. You can also use AI and arrive at a topic, but these topics which AI has narrowed down to will not be the actual basis for your research. It can only help you because you have done the referencing. You have studied recurring themes by yourselves. You know, this is where I differ from technology. Even in qualitative analysis that we do, with software like NVivo or Atlas TI and all, they are generating codes. But what is lost there when we make use of this technology is this insight gaining experiences which our in-depth interview providers have given to us. That is missing in that. All right, when we speaking to a person, understand his expressions itself will reveal so many things about whether he is happy about something or not. So research is observation. Observation is the heart of research. All right. So I have told you alternative procedure also to arrive at your topic, and I gave you a direct question. All you need to do is replace your keywords with these keywords and type the same question which I asked. This is given to you. My PPT will be given to you. All these PPTs I have prepared for you. Please have a copy of it. Okay, so I'm done with this. So these are the titles which I have got here, because what I showed there will not be available. It might have been changed, because when I searched, something else would have come. Okay, but by and large they will explain what was there. Okay, so take a good look at this also and see the titles which you get. Then based on your analysis, what were the titles you had narrowed down, you combine them, and in your presentation you have to tell that this is the rigorous process through which I have gone and arrived at my topic. You can defend your topic against any university for that matter. Okay, now this is my activity for you. A very simple activity. It will take you through the 7 steps. Okay, in your chosen area of research, apply the 7 steps and obtain various topics and narrow down to a topic. All right, and it is 9:54. The session was up to 10. I am on time. So another 6 minutes, we will have good chat. We will address some more questions. Or now I think I will open your mic. If you want to talk, please, or you can speak. Now it's your time. Please shoot your questions. If you have got to add anything to what I have told, if you disagree with anything which I have told, all right. We know, instead of typing the 7 steps, it is there in the PPT, which you can directly take. Okay, but I don't want to disappoint you. I will instantly put it here. And when students ask me something, I find it very difficult to say no. It is there. It's available in the PPT, which you will be receiving. Okay. But even then, if you want for immediate reference, I will type it here. No issue. Harshala. Okay. I put it here. Okay. Display the activity again. Yeah. Sure. That shows your keenness in participation. Very good. This also I will cut and paste. This also I'll cut and paste here in the chat. Very interactive students. I like you all. Very good. Stay focused this way and come with more questions. I might have missed some questions. Let me revisit and check if I have missed some questions. So through this journey, you should be able to have a fair idea about how to go about. But I told you repeatedly, you have to walk the road. I can show you the road map, but you have to walk through that road. All the steps and procedures I have told you. Yes. Who is this? Yes, Ismail. The PPT will be made available to you. The recording of this also will be made available to you. You can contact Dr. Arshi. She is managing it. Okay, she will give it to you. Thank you for asking. I'm glad you are asking. Okay, you should listen to it again and again. Put the audio on and listen, because these jargons, should be indelibly etched in your mind. As you talk, you should talk the language of a researcher. Thank you. Who is this? Milako. Thank you very much for appreciating my lecture. So nice to hear this. Very good. 7 steps are typed. I am with you in this journey. Don't worry. Is there any specific digital tool which you suggest for a predominant usage to get worthwhile results which are equally credible? No, I cannot recommend. See, I told you, they are all proprietary digital tools. It would be like I am the ambassador for that tool if I recommend some tools. I am, even at this stage, I am experimenting. Every day I come across newer tools, digital tool. For analysis, I am upgrading myself. See, for example, structural equation modeling. I'm a combination of qualitative research as well as quantitative research. I do both because I go by mixed methods approach, which is the latest approach and widely in demand. Mixed methods approach, okay, by Creswell. Creswell is the one who has propagated it around the globe. His book on mixed methods approach is one of the best textbooks which I've read. All right. So as I used both qualitative method as well as quantitative method, and I use the tools in both. For example, if for the quantitative analysis or simple t-tests or analysis of variance at a doctoral level of research, you may always find that you have to go at a higher level of analysis than that. Okay, you may have to go for complex dynamics based problems. For complex dynamics problem, you will have to go for structural equation modeling. And in structural equation modeling, there is AMOS, there is Smart PLS. Now JASP is also bringing an add-on to it using R. So many tools are coming. So I can't recommend one specific tool. You have to excuse me on this. It is your choice to explore and make use of a tool which you want. Because as a university or as an institute, we usually don't recommend one tool. Okay, students are given free choice to choose a tool of their choice. Okay, I have multiple tools which I use, and I keep changing these tools. All right, so this particular question I am not in a position to answer. All right. Okay, Vishnu, thank you so much. I think I have answered almost all the questions. Okay, please come with more questions for my next session. Okay, you'll be more mature. Does the topic be measured? Does the topic be measured against the extent it contributes to solve a specific community problem? Yes, of course, yes. Of course, yes. What is the contribution? Suppose if you are going for say feminist approach, transformative approach. If you are research, we'll go for research paradigms in our later classes. If you are going for paradigm based approach, and if you are say feminist approach or transformative approach, then that is a significant contribution that you can make in your research. I think we are done with our time and we are closing our session. Vijay, thank you for the wonderful session. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all. We'll keep meeting. Don't miss my sessions. Okay. Please keep it as a continuity. Okay. Yeah. Good. Nice. Nice. It's a journey together. Okay. We'll enjoy this journey. Okay. Rather than working on this, we'll enjoy working on it. Do what you enjoy and enjoy what you do. That is the secret for success. Do what you enjoy what you do. Okay, thank you, Shweta. Thank you, Saravanan. Thank you, everybody. And I'm leaving you. Bye.
So on this